center. We will chant the Mangalacharan. यस्त्यक्त्वा रूपमाद्यं प्रभवति जगतो अनेकधानुग्रहाय प्रक्षीणक्लेशराशिरविषमविषधरो अनेकवक्त्रसुभोगी सर्वज्ञानप्रसूतिर्भुजगपरिकर प्रीतये यस्य नित्यं देवो हि सहसोऽव्यात् सितविमलतनुर्योगदो योगयुक्तः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Gently bow your head down. Bring yourself to the class. Prepare yourself for the session. When you're ready, gently lift your head up. Open your eyes. Externalize. Namaste. Hari Om. Yes. Did you get time to go through the discussion we had in the last class? Did you write the sutras, all of you?
In progress, ma'am.
In progress?
Partially.
Share it with me. Yes. Which sutra did we stop in the last class?
41.
Yes. (41) is completely understood. 4 different types of samadhi. Which are those? Savitarka, Savichara, Sananda, Sasmita. 4 different variations we see. Now we will move on to discussing 2 important challenges that the seeker faces on this path. The first challenge that the seeker faces is not being able to continue on the journey due to sanshaya or doubt. So the object of meditation that we are meditating upon, we know it to a level where we have a doubt regarding it. Yes, this is the first stage. And second stage is the thought of Vitteshna and Lokeshna suddenly springing up in the heart. What is Vitteshna? You're not audible, Hiteshji. Yes, you're still not audible to me.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes,
this
you are.
is- yeah.
Yes. What is Vitteshna, Lokeshna?
I just remember Lokeshna is the desire of fame, right?
Vitteshna,
Vish-
desire of wealth.
Wealth.
3
Thank
types.
you.
We that a yogi is free of 3. Putreshna, that is desire of and from children. Vitteshna, desire of wealth. And Lokeshna, desire of name and fame in the world. So in case the seeker in any of these samadhis attains the experience and never attains that experience again, instead there are thoughts of Lokeshna and Vitteshna, which means for this life, you're only required to reach till there. There is exhaustion of the punyas. You cannot go any further. So, जैसे हम कहते हैं कि लोकेशना और वित्तेशना है तो इस जन्म तक ही इतनी ही आपकी साधना थी, ये समझिए, which means in this lifetime you only had to reach this stage that needs to be known. And second is any object that we had taken, we said that you can meditate on people, you can meditate on the photo of the Guru. Sometimes it so happens that the Guru that we are meditating upon, doubt is created in the mind regarding the object of meditation or even the Guru. Simply a photo is there in the room. You can take Sage Patanjali's photo. You can take your Guru's photo. So any doubt or sanshaya needs to be immediately replaced by nishtha. Nishtha is faith. It sometimes happen you're sitting meditating, and out of nowhere a doubt comes up. Oh, is this really true? The sage Vyasa has done this, sage Patanjali has done this, or is my guru enough strong to lead me on the path? And somebody will come around those 2 days and talk more negatively. What will be the sign? Somebody will come around when you reach that stage and try to remove you from that state by trying to say something about your object of meditation. The person may absolutely not know what you're doing, but whichever object of meditation that you have taken, it will, you will be compelled to do the upeksha. That means to drop it. So in this moment of doubt, what needs to be done? Faith. Strong faith must be rendered in the heart. That where I was before I began this journey, and with the help of my object of meditation, where I have reached. These are the only two challenges that occur, which can again take us down from the four different stages we saw in Savitarga Savichara. And apart from that, two we wrote down, that was Sananda and Sasvata. Yes, is this understood? Because what we discussed, these were sabija and basic levels of samadhis. They are not a very high level samadhi. You have just learned to be in samadhi. So there is a very easy chance for you to slip down from here. So any time that you feel this, what you needs to be done, you should have a strong faith and nishta. Go back to the beginning of journey from where you began. Is this understood? We move on. Now we will see all of these samadhis being, further discussed in detail. Sutra 42. Shabdarth jana vikalpaihe
शब्दार्थ जान विकल्पेः
sankirna savitarka samapattihi.
संकीर्णा सवितर्का समापत्तिः.
Yes. Now Sutrakar will, Bhashyakar Sutrakar will further talk about Savitarka Samadhi in Sutra number 42. Let's see what is the Bhashyam. Tadyata gauriti shabdo gauriti arthe gauriti janamittya vibhagena vibhagatva namapi grahanam drushtam vibhajya manaschetyena shabda dharma अन्ये अर्थ धर्म अन्ये विज्ञान धर्म इत्येषां विभक्तः पन्थाः तत्र समापन्नस्य योगिनो यो गवार्थः समाधि प्रज्ञायां समारूढ़ः स छेच्च शब्दार्थ जान विकल्प पानुविद्ध उपवर्तते सा संकीर्णा समापत्तिः सवितर्क उच्यते. What is this Savitarka Samadhi? Let's see. The word, meaning, and the wisdom of that object. So what happens in Savitarka Samadhi? The mind is used to meditation. So mind, even when we are not doing anything, mind is meditating, because the basic nature of the mind is to meditate. So as a meditator, what you do in Samyama, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, you change the subject and you change the object of meditation. First is you change the object of meditation. जैसे हम कहते हैं विषय परिवर्तन. You change the existing topic that mind has been meditating upon and you bring it to a different topic altogether. So maybe there has been a object of artha and kama on the mind. Every mind is used to meditate. Meditating means what? Holding on to. धारणा कर रखी है आपने. So विषय परिवर्तन is a technical term. विषय VISHAYA. Vishaya Parivartan. Parivartan means change. Vishaya means subject. Parivartan. PARIVARTAN. So Vishaya Parivartan and Drishti Parivartan. So you change the object of meditation and you change the drashta, the drishti, which you use for observing that object. Which means by practicing yama niyamas, the raja and tamaguna, rajas and tamas have come down. So how you view has one object has changed completely. So when we talk about savitarka samadhi, vishay parivartan and drishti parivartan leads to this state of samadhi. Vishay parivartan means before being a meditator, whatever that you were taking into as an object, we saw bahya, ati bahya, antara. Yes, you have changed just the object. So you've changed the tendency of the mind. So we see this samadhi. So what happens in this samadhi? Gauriti, an example of cow is given. What the example of cow is given? You heard the word cow. Yes, you have the knowledge of the animal cow. And you have the wisdom of cowness. When these three together are in equanimity, it is known as Savitarka Samadhi. Means Shabda, Artha together. And along with Shabda and Artha, the Jnana, the hidden meaning of it is reached you. All of these are known as a triad of Savitarka Samadhi. So they are not avibhaga. Today in the world, what are we seeing? Word is different. Some people are able to use the word, but they have no knowledge of the object of meditation. Some people are using the word, have the knowledge of the object of meditation, but have no wisdom or experience of the object of meditation. So Savitarka Samadhi is what? Having the Shabda, having the Artha, and also having the Anubhav, the experience of that object. For example, when you learned a mathematics theorem in your school, in childhood, you heard it first. Then teacher gave you the knowledge. You practiced until you realized it. You said, oh, now I get what this theorem is. So you had the knowledge existing, you had the Shabda also. When these three are in equanimity, avibhajya, not separate, all these three become one. This is the state of Savitarka Samadhi. Presently in the world, we see all these three are different. So if we want to know the world must be known in this way. Every object that you see, the Shabda, along with the Shabda, the Artha, and along with the Artha, Anubhava, the experience of the object. Ekatmata of all these three, oneness of all these three is Savitarka. Take a moment, reflect on what we have discussed and ask me if you have a question. So, yes, Purush.
Ma'am, if I remember correctly, the Shabda that you advised us is also a testimony that has to be tested before observed and believed in, or to let us influence. It has to be either through the scriptures or through someone we know is moving towards light. Now, in most of the cases, that's absent in the outside world. So when coming in contact with the new object, what comments would you have on acquiring Shabda? Because Arth can be driven from previous experiences or other things as well. At least that's what I gather so far. which then form our current anubhav. But in terms of shabda, that's a complex one. Whatever commentary you can suggest.
So what happens in this stage is, Guruji, the moment artha is there, shabda falls off, shabda diminishes. The moment there is the anubhuti, the artha diminishes. So for every object, you will have the shabda first. After the shabda, you will have the artha, the meaning of it. The moment meaning is there, shabda will be moved on. So cow, you will not only say cow, but you will say with the knowledge of the cow. What does the cow mean? And the moment you experience that cowness, the both, the word as well as the meaning drop off, it is merely an experience. So every object that we see in the world also, the shabda is going to disappear for everything until you have the artha. But if you have the artha and you don't have the anubhava, till that stage the mind will hold on to it. So what does a yogi do in this case? Whatever shabda falls on this year, on the ears, first decides, is it taking me towards my goal? What is samadhi? Is it useful for me? First question. If it is useful for me, then I decide to have the knowledge of it and then I decide to have experience of it. Otherwise, it's merely a dhvani. What's the difference between animals and humans? Animals communicate in dhvani, that is sound. And humans speak in varna, that is word. So, dhvani is their way of communicating. And for us, word, varna, एक वर्ण उच्चार करते हैं आप. You speak a word. ध्वनि मात्र रूप से उसको त्याग करना है उसका. Just taking it as a sound, drop it. If it is not in line, how do we know if it's in line or not? Artha काम है, drop it. Dharma moksha hai, keep it. Why? Because moment that shabda has been registered, you will want to have the knowledge of it and then you will want to experience it. So it's very detrimental that you know some word, you have the knowledge, but you have not experienced it. A yogi only speaks the word, comes out of the mouth, which has the word, which was converted to knowledge, which has been converted to experience. What is the difference between us speaking and a yogi speaking? Every word that comes out from the dhvani, varna, which is formed, what happens to it? It has been embodied. And only from that embodiment, that knowledge has been expressed. For the ones who have not embodied, but only have the shabda and the knowledge about it, the artha is there. The wisdom associated with it is not there. What happens to those people? They will not be able to have the mind in the state of samadhi. So, any object which has been realized by you can also be leading to the state of samadhi. Therefore, we see many mathematicians, when they realized certain concepts, they were able to build on it in a very exceptional way, a very different understanding. So this equanimity, this triad of the word, the meaning and its wisdom together leads to Savitarka Samadhi. That is all this sutra is saying. It says that in the world you see this in a separate form, all these three. Try to take them in one form. You will experience joy. What do they say? How do you experience sananda? You will experience joy. Sananda and Sasmita. Now just write a note here. Sasmita Samadhi should not be prolonged. Sasmita. What is Asmita? I am that stage. Sasmita Samadhi must not be prolonged. Why? There is an intervention of further knowledge needed at this stage. Sasmita Samadhi, further knowledge and learning by the seeker is required to progress to any other stage. Also, I am, this stage must not be prolonged. Seeker must immediately consult with the teacher, the guru, and progress from this stage. I-ness. We see some seekers sometimes falling into the trap of losing the consciousness of I as the body and I as the mind. So this I am must not be prolonged. This Asmita Samadhi will often have Drig Shakti and Drishya Shakti Ekatmaka. So Ekatmata of what? Drig Shakti. What is Drig? Drishya and Driga. Seen and the seer become one. It is very detrimental because then you take yourself to be different objects. Bhaisoham. Yes. So this stage, you need to have further knowledge. It's an indication now further knowledge in this state of Samadhi is required. Is this sutra understood by us? Yes, Hitesh.
So as you said, like if there is an object that doesn't have jnana, or if it is like if there is artha and kama in that object, drop it. But is it possible that by attaining jnana to that object, that becomes dharma and moksha? And
Yes, we saw in the past sutras what Sage Patanjali said. Choose anything you like, the mind naturally meditates upon. But it's time to rise up now from that also.
Okay.
So you have seen many people saying, manifest wealth. This has become very popular. You manifest something and it will happen. What are they trying to do? They're trying to create a triad of these three. So at the mental level, you feel you're actually experiencing all of that you are seeking. But they are very lower level samadhis. We already discussed. What are these? Low hanging, very, very basic and lower level samadhis. What they will lead to? Vitteshna and location. And spiritual this will not happen.
Okay.
That's the only reason we need to now further move from these samadhis also. Let's
Ma'am,
chant. Yes.
Just one last question. Can you
Yes.
explain this sutra with respect to Om chanting? So Om chanting, which you recommended us, that
Yes.
also falls into Savitarka Samadhi?
Now you have to tell me savitarka or savichara. Om, what kind of object is it? It is outside object?
Yeah,
Is-
outside. But it's
How-
a word. No, outside. Yeah.
It's not a physical object. Yes. Is it related or can be grasped through the senses?
But ma'am, you said this Bhaisoham falls into this, right? Savitarka Samadhi.
Besoham, we talked about savitarka and savichara. Now you tell me which samadhi will have the physical object outside? Anyone
Bhais-
can. Besoham, the object was outside. But
Because
when we
we-
talk about Om, the sound is internal. It's the sound of creation originating at the solar plexus. So there is a difference in both these states. So Om, by chanting, we realize the mantra Om. Chanting, the Shabda is there. Yes, Artha is there, what Om means. But the triad is completed how? By chanting, that you experience the Om. And that stage we say is Savitarka Samadhi. Together.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Now, Sutra 43. Smruti Parishuddhau
Smruti Parishuddhau
Swarupa Shunyevartham
Swarupa
Shunyavatham
Atra nirbhasa nirvitarka.
Atra nirbhasa nirvitarka.
Now, from Savitarka, we are moving to Nirvitarka. What we had written about Nirvitarka Samadhi, do you recall? What is not there in Nirvitarka? I had made you.
Shabda is not there.
Not there in Nirvitarka. What is there then in Nirvitarka? You cannot express. Yes,
You
yes,
can't-
Put.
Yeah. Unable
Yes.
to express samadhi experience.
Yes. So just write a note. Whenever you're listening to the Guru, in that moment, you listen to a certain word and you experience it, but you're not able to express it in words. That means the experience is felt by you. Bhasit hona. It's not only there at the level of knowledge. भासित हो रहा है. You're experiencing it. So now this word and this experience are not different. They are the one. When you're listening to the Guru, this happens that a certain word falls and you are in oneness in the state of samadhi by listening to that word. Why? Because the previous process has already been done by you. Maybe in this birth or in the previous birth. Don't know. Therefore, we say, somebody I met in life and a certain word changed my life. Or in a very day-to-day life example, we say, she was or he was trying to say something and I exactly I could feel, or that word has been felt by me, but I cannot express what is happening. You cannot express what is happening, but what has happened? There is oneness. So there is no shabda or there is no artha, there is only bhasa, experience. You're listening bhasa, listening bhasa, listening bhasa. Every object in the world, you're going outside. You're experiencing it. You started experiencing it. No shabda and artha, bhasa. They are no more different from you. Anything that is said to you, mind says, okay, I am that. You've reached that stage. You're one with it. You have realized it. How? Because mind has been trained to become equanimous for a long period of time. So now when you go back into the world, no use of words, no use of meaning or knowledge related to it. Bhasa matra reh jata. Everything remains as what? Pure experience, experiential. Not at the levels of indriya or the senses, at the level of experience. Mind has become that equanimous. Let's see the Bhashyam also. या शब्द संकेत श्रुतानु मान ज्ञान विकल्प स्मृती परिशुद्धौ ग्राह्य स्वरूप उपरोक्ता प्रज्ञा स्वमीव प्रज्ञारूपम ग्रहणात्मकं त्यक्त्वा पदार्थ मात्र स्वरूपा ग्राह्य स्वरूपापन्नेव भवति सा निर्वितर्का समापत्तिः तथा च व्याख्यता तस्य एकबुद्धद्युक् प्रक्रमो याथार्थात्मा अणुप्रचय विषयात्मा गवादिर घटादिर लोकः स च संस्थान विशो भूत सूक्ष्मणां साधारणो धर्म आत्मभूतः फलेन व्यक्ते अनुमिति स्वयंज आकांजः प्रदुमर्त भवति धर्मान्तरयोदयो च तीरो भवति स एष धर्मो वयस्वी उच्यते योऽस्यावेकश्च महाश्च यणीयांश्च स्पर्शवंश्च क्रियाधर्मकंश्च नित्यश्च तेन वै न व्यवहारा क्रियन्ते. How you have started transacting in the world? By this experience. So any word which you have heard, there will be no anumana or pramana now anymore related to it. Anumana and pramana will fall off. Anumana pramana, proof. Anumana is inference. What will be there? Pratyaksha, experience. Direct experience of objects will be there. We saw different kinds of pramana. Which are those? Pratyaksha pramana, Anumana pramana and
Shabda.
Shabda pramana. Aptavachan. So which two are dropping here? Shabda and Anumana. What remains? Pratyaksha. Direct experience of everything around.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes, Lisa ji, can you hear me?
Can I ask?
Yes, yes. Yes, please.
Good today. I got lost actually. We were talking now that just pratyaksha pramana stays, but when I lost the words before saying this.
Which is it talking about? Nirvitarka Samadhi. In the state of Nirvitarka Samadhi, you remember we had written Shabda is not there, which means you are not able to express it in words. And so what is happening exactly? Direct experience only remains while you are in Samadhi. And also when you are generally transacting, everything that reaches you is in the form of its pure experience as it is. So it meets you in its completion as a complete experience. There is no separate shabda or there is no separate artha. You know it. I know myself, therefore I know everything. I don't know myself, therefore I do not know anything. So since I have known my own self, been till Asmita, Sasmita, Sananda, what is happening? Outside also, objects are known to me. Just reflect. We will be not going forward from here. We will just discuss this sutra. Just reflect on this. If you have a question, ask.
I have a question which is slightly may deviate from this, but it's, if I may, it probably is related to it. So in the events where there's a karmic transaction that's taking place over a period of time, where the object reveals itself in its entirety, and we engage with that object and with the knowledge of trying to be in that moment and become one with the object itself. But it takes time, so the thoughts are there still, and it's impossible to not think or to not. It's like a fixed period of time that it's consumed. Every single thing is that, and it's quite. So first of all, is this attachment or bondage, or is it actually becoming in the state of samadhi that remains as it does throughout the karmic transaction? So if it takes a week, for instance, or a fortnight, then that's it. There's nothing else but that. So that's my any clarity.
Yes, so when we look at these karmic transactions also, is if this is your object of meditation, if it stays longer with you beyond the karmic transaction also, and it helps you reach the next stage of samadhi, that is nirbija samadhi, then you can say yes, this was the object of meditation. I will explain again. If you are stuck with the object only in state of samadhi, you're not able to drop it, and neither it is being dropped by itself, you can say there is attachment. That means any of the Vitteshna, Putreshna or Lokeshna, any of these three are there, or Rina. The mind has certain debt associated with it. It can be karmic debt. Because usually the object taken as Sabija itself dissolves and takes you to the next stage, which is Nirbija. Then if you look at the example of Bhaisoham, who that base and what that cowness, he forgets that. Only there is experience of the pure self that remains. So in his case, that karmic transaction, the loss, he started meditating with what? Oh, it was the cow was extremely dear to me and so on. But later on leaves, okay, what cow? Who cow? There is no difference. Different cow than other. Everything has been merged into me. So that instrument, if it drops and takes you to the stage of nirbija avastha, that means it was the object of meditation. But if there is no progress also, and you feel you are not able to deviate also, that means there is some kind of rina or attachment. So change of object is required. Ji, I hope it helped. Yes. These are just the samadhis we have seen before, but slowly they will be explained in detail because we are coming towards the end of the first chapter. So all these samadhis will now be further discussed.
G.
Yes.
So this is like for putting those words into our own experience. So when we for example, I can just talk about me. In my journey, in my sadhana, when I experienced that maybe I was using as an object a mantra, the chanting of a mantra, when I feel that chanting this mantra doesn't give me anything anymore, but I can reach the state of mind of meditation and calmness, that means that I don't need anymore to chant the mantra. Okay.
That means there is oneness with the mantra. Now you don't have to take a new mantra, just you don't need the word to be expressed. Just the thought of the mantra takes you to that state of oneness, equanimity of them. So what is this sutra saying? that knowledge of word is not required. It dismisses the knowledge of word and it takes the world to be experienced. Presently, everything that we experience comes first by the word. And this sutra is specifying this experience devoid of the word as pure experience only. Because the experience of Brahman is not a word. You can write one. Ukta here. Ukta means just a line. Satyam Satyam Janamantam Brahma. Satyam Janamanantam Brahma. You write it in English. Satyam, Satyam. Jana, Jana, the wisdom. Shabda Artha Jana, wisdom. Jana Manantam, Manantam. Mananta, Janamananta Brahma. Brahma, Brahma. Satyam Janamanantam Brahma. Because experience of the self is devoid of these former two, Shabda and Artha. It is Jana Matra.
What does this mean?
Satyam, the truth. The truth of what? Who we are. Janamanantam Brahma. The truth of the self is also revealed as an experience. जैसे कहते शब्द के साथ वाचक ब्रह्म का कोई भी संबंध नहीं है. There is no connection of the word with the self. And why is it so? Because word has been created by us, Dhvani Matra. Therefore, instrument Om is used to go inside. Dhvani Matra, the sound, expression, natural expression is the sound for any species. Artha is created by whom? By us, humans. So, experience of the Brahma has nothing to do with the word. Or it doesn't come from the word. It comes from the experience. All mantras you will see, Vedic mantras, they don't have a meaning. They are dhvani based. They create a certain sound vibration in the body. So Bij mantras don't have any meaning. Of your chakras also, there is no meaning for these mantras. It's the certain sound that is being created. And why I gave this reason, this example of species like humans and other, because word and language has been created by us. And right now it has been the only thing to know the world. But what was there before the language was there? There was no shabda, there was no artha. What was it? Jnana matra. Is this understood? We will just pause, reflect on this here today. Tomorrow we will cover the next 2-3 sutras. Few people have not joined us today. I don't know why. Let's see. That's why we are not progressing ahead, because I don't want them to miss these sutras. Yes, Purush.
Ma'am, allow me to share something that
Yes,
I
please.
was meditating on this and it came up, and then you brought this up. So So I live here in Australia, and the Aboriginal people here, they've been living here for tens of thousands of years before the colonization. And one thing that I find quite strongly related to what you just said here is in their culture, they have songs for everything. They don't really speak to things. So they communicate, they pass on their wisdom through songs, and they're not songs with words, and they speak to the trees, and that's how they navigate. So this is incredible. I don't think it's a coincidence that I'm here and I'm studying this, but just wanted to share that with you that
Yes.
there is a that does that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. Yes. So, this way of creating vibrations and exchanging those vibrations and without words being in communion, in coexistence, was the original way. Therefore, Sanskrit is not a language. We make a mistake if we take Sanskrit as the language. It is a vibration. So, when we chant, when we write, when we memorize, when we speak Sanskritam, these vibrations work on the body. Presently, we are not listening to them. So we create those vibrations independently. Therefore, it takes us to Devata Swarup of ourselves. We said it is Deva Bhasha. So from human, it takes us to the stature of Devata, the one who speaks Sanskrit. Mantrik Bhasha, the entire language is mantras. It's not language. Therefore, I say in English, I cannot call Sanskrit a language at all. It's difficult for me because once I know it's not a language, how do I explain and how do I tell people that language is not required? The meaningful sound vibration that brings about a change in your body and mind and that object which you're experiencing is required. Where you don't have a knowledge that stems from the word, you have the wisdom of the object. When you speak about an object to the third person, to any other person, you're not giving the shabda or the artha, you're giving the anubhava. And that is what Sanskritam does. So every seeker on the spiritual path must learn Sanskritam. Your Shadadarshan, when you go for higher studies, if after Yoga Sutra, if you study for 6-7 years, there is no pravesha, entry into Vedas without Vedanga. And Vedanga has Shiksha and Vyakarana first. Sanskritam, grammar. Lokik Sanskrit, not the language or Loka Bhasha of Sanskritam. Sanskrit grammar. You bring about a change in the neurological structure of the brain, and then you start studying any scripture. So anybody who is on this path for 6-7 years, 7 years are at least required for you to understand the scriptures, the Vedas, the Upanishads. So to study the Vedas, you need to study the Vedangas first. And Vedangas begin with Shiksha and Vyakarana. Only then you are entering into the further listening of the scripture. Yes. So this is the sutra explains to us that this is the experience reached where every word is now coming as an experience to you. You're experiencing the object. There is no requirement of word discussed by you or the other person or artha, meaning of that word. Both of them have dissolved. You're in union with every object.
Question. I think picking upon this sentence, like when that we are in union with this object, and earlier you also mentioned another sentence saying that we know ourselves by now that I know myself, I would know the other object as well.
Yes.
I'm like, I need a bit more explanation a bit here, like if I know myself, how do I know the other object? And
because there is no difference between the other object and you. There is oneness. There is no duality. You're experiencing oneness. So everything is into you. You have experienced that. Every person you meet around, Whatever they carry, you have that experience already within you. Only when you meet them, that experience becomes stronger. They carry the same state of mind, same thoughts, same which you carry within you. How many there? Limited. 5 we have. Anger, hatred, jealousy, vices, all of these. And 4 answers we have. What are those 4 ways to deal with people who are better than you, people who are lesser than you? That 4 becomes the way of transaction. So we experience everything in the world there. There is no need of shabda or artha of that. That was the natural way, and Sanskritam was this transactional vibration. So if not Sanskritam, what are the mantras doing? They are helping you experience what you're chanting. So you chant a mantra for happiness or health. Ayurveda is filled with mantras. Because when you chant it, that vibration, that neurons of the brain heal the body. So Ayurveda doctor is required to chant a mantra. No medicine is administered purely in Ayurveda without the mantra. Each medicine needs to be prepared with mantras, administered with mantra, a herb or whatever it is. That's how you send a signal to the brain through the sound. And brain doesn't know these words then. There is only the experience that remains. We will conclude here for today and continue tomorrow on this thought. If you have any questions, we discuss tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently bow your head down. Thanks, Sage Patanjali, for this knowledge. When you're ready, gently lift your head up, open your eyes, externalize. Namaste. Dhanyavad.